Hello and welcome back to another review with me, Kevin, from Kevin Grant on Whiskey. This week we've got another new one, a litre of it as well. I'm quite happy with this. My partner's got back from Canada. I picked this up on the way to Canada. I took it as a gift. Really enjoyed it, and I never reviewed it, so I thought on the way back, if you see it again, pick one up. So I've been able to get my hands on a Balblair 12 and something I know I've enjoyed before, so hopefully we still enjoy it. So I'm going to do an uncorking. We'll go through it. I'll let it sit for a wee bit, we'll go through some of the history. So let's see if we can get a good pop first. Yes, definitely. If you follow me on socials, you will see I broke my favourite glass, my Capita. But I'm going to the Whisky Festival in 2 weeks' time, and I hope to pick up another one that I can enjoy again. So I'm using what I like to call the wee egg cup. It's a Scottish Malt Whisky Society one. So I'll let that breathe for a little bit. Get through some of the kind of facts and figures of Balblair, from where it began to where it is now and to what the whisky is. So Balblair is a Highland whisky. So from the Northern Highlands of Eddington, is that right? Is that how you say it? Ederton. So from Ederton, founded in 1790 by a guy called James McKeddy. So he's the one that was the pioneer behind Balblair. They do believe that Balblair is older than it actually is. I think it's the oldest up in that region, but they believe it does stem back to even before their time. So it is a little bit out of the way. It's about 10 kilometres or so, I think, from Glenmorangie, so it's a little bit harder to get to. So we go there, it's passed through the hands a couple of times here and there, but the kind of big date stamp that we want to look at is from 1911. 1911 is when it closed its doors, it mothballed, so again, everything stays in situ, but the distillery mothballed, and it didn't get taken over again until 1948, when a man called Robert Cumming bought the distillery for £48,000. It's about 35 years later. £48,000. There's whiskey worth more than one bottle is worth more than that. It's crazy to see where it is now. So he takes over, and then we go fast forward again about another 50 years, and we look at Inverhouse. Inverhouse took over in 1996 and still to this day do own Balblair. So we look at Balblair from here. This is where we can really start getting into Balblair. Balblair used to have these age statements, like not that we know now. So they had the 12-year-old now and thing in their core range of 12 to 15 and 18. But previous to that, it used to be numbers like from 2000, so it would say 00 on it and 01 and 02. It was a really cool thing. I really enjoyed that. The vintages, you were able to kind of go back in time and say, I remember that vintage was my favourite. Now we get what we enjoy constantly coming out, the 12-year-old every year, staying the same, as close as it can be to fans that really enjoy the Balblair. So we get to there, to where we are now, and this is what we've got. So if we get into the whisky now, let's get to know this a little bit better. So Balblair 12-year-old, first thing we look at, 46%, non-chill filtered, natural colour. It's got everything on there that you want to see from a distillery. For myself, got an age statement on it, matured in ex-bourbon and double-fired ex-bourbon, so it's a full kind of American oak maturation. That double fire, getting right into the cask, firing it away to get into those kind of deeper, richer, more complex, maybe sugary notes that we get from it. Balblair like to have this flavour profile of being nice light, nice fruity, nice and easy going, and I think it does have that. I remember trying this and really enjoyed it, so I'm hoping I do get that same reaction again today. Hopefully it's not a tight neck pour. I've got it in the glass. It's been there for a few minutes from me blabbing on. I think I want to get in there now. I've got another wee kind of few bits that I'll get to at the end. But let's try this on the nose just now. Get it on the palate and see where we are. So let's see. What do we get in the nose? It does have that full bourbon influence for me. It's got a kind of soft maltiness to it. It's got a really kind of creamy vanilla. It's got a little it's like a kind of tea note, like tea leaves or something coming through. It's clean, it's very, very simple, enjoyable on the nose. Again, there's no offensiveness to it, but it's creamy, rich, little bit kind of Highland floralness that I usually get from kind of Highland whiskies, but it's that rich, creamy vanilla coming through. Kind of the burnt sugar, as I say, going at that cask, that's going to be from a double fireness from it. So let's try this in the palate. We'll see if we get something a little bit different. I'm hoping we can get something that maybe never picked up last time. Slange, everyone. Yep. Still as good as remember. That's really good. That's a really nice style of whiskey that I enjoy. It's got that little bit of spice at the end of it. It still keeps that full, great bourbon approach. It stays creamy. It's got sweetness to it. A little bit of spice. That little bit of maltiness still stays there as well. It's not too far away. Sometimes I get the maltiness on the nose, it'll disappear, but I can still get that on the palate, and I really enjoy that. Yep. Clean. Kind of tea leaves still about there, kind of dried tea leaves. Fruity now. There's that kind of, I think they're known for mangoes and peaches and things. I can definitely get that now, just coming through. But really, really nice. I've got some water here as well. I'll add a few drops of water in whilst we're at it, just to see. It's 46%. I like it at that, but we'll just put a little dash in, let that sit for a second. So if we go back a little bit in history again to 1872, so we fly back to 1872. What I've got here I was able to find was they actually moved Balblair Distillery half a mile north from its location from when it was founded in 1790. That moved slightly half a mile up the road. I don't know why. That was something I need to try and find a little bit more of. I thought that's really quirky. What was the reasoning behind it? Because usually if you get found out by an exciseman, you wouldn't move it half a mile up the road. You would decide to completely shut up shop and find somewhere completely different. The distillery manager just now is John McDonald. He's worked there more or less his full days. I think he went for 1 year. I'll just go and work there just when I'm a young guy, and to this day he started from the bottom, and now he's the distillery manager since 2006 and making this amazing whiskies. Owned by Inverhouse. You know, Inverhouse have got Pulteney, Knockdo, Speyburn, Balmenoch and Balblair. The other cool thing with this as well is if you've ever seen the movie The Angel Share, this is a distillery that they use. This is where they go to try and find that little mill bottle when they go in and they get into the cask in the Dunnage warehouse. So it's a distillery I've never been to. I think I would really enjoy going to, because it's something, this whiskey, I really seem to enjoy. I think at the Whiskey Festival coming up, it's going to be one of the first stalls I'll go to try the older, maybe the 15 and the 18s. It's something I've not tried yet, so I'd like my palate to be ready to try something there and maybe pick a bottle up or two. We go back in with the water here. It's not changed much. Maybe a little bit, maybe a bit more kind of citrus coming through now with that little bit of water, but nothing too different. Seems like the spice goes from it a little bit. It takes that little bit of depth away, which is okay. I think when I revisit this the next time I pour a dram, I'm going to leave the water to the side. It's just I prefer it the way it's been given to me in this bottle at 46%. It's a magical number for me. So I've really enjoyed that there. So we go back, a recap. So on the nose, as we say, we kind of got those sugary notes, a little bit malty, a little bit of kind of tea leaves and things like that, really kind of creamy custard. Then on the palate, again, those sweetnesses, that kind of burnt sugars and mangoes and peaches and these other things. It's a really exciting dram for people can overlook what a bourbon cask can do. But I really enjoyed it. I know I'm going to keep enjoying it. I've got a litre of it now, so it's going to last me a while. And I'm quite glad I was able to get another bottle of this. Last wee thing, I would like to say thank you everyone. I've just seen I've got some new subscribers, so welcome to the channel. Should have done that at the start, but thank you if you stayed so long just now. Welcome, and thanks for subs. If something comes out every single week, I try and do something a little bit different. I will get one more out next week, and then we will see. I might try and take a wee video of the day being at the Whisky Festival, the Glasgow Whisky Festival session 1 that I'll be at. So if you're there, hopefully I get to see and share a wee dram with you as well. But as always, I've been Kevin from Kevin Grant on Whisky, and join me next week. Let's talk whisky. Slange.